Hi, I'm Michelle Jacobs, the Imaging Technologies and Web Coordinator here at College Library. What I'm going to do in the next few minutes is quickly highlight a few examples of technologies that you might be able to use in an academic setting. This presentation is posted to YouTube as well as a longer version that goes a bit into more depth about the technologies that I've covered. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at michellejacobs@library.ucla.edu. Reaching students where they are. The first place that I think is really important to take a look at is mobile learning, also known as M-learning. It really does meet users where they are. I think one thing that we have all noticed is that almost every single student we see on campus has some sort of handheld mobile device, anywhere from a cell phone to a pocket PC, which is a cell phone that can run basic Microsoft Office applications, to an MP3 player or an iPod. How do you define mobility? What I did is I played around on the UCLA website for a little while and came up with a couple of different places in which you could find mobile users in addition to the ones on campus. Those studying off campus, working in a lab, whether on campus or off campus, collecting data in the field, anyone with an iPod, iPhone, MP3 player, anyone with a cellular phone. Commuter students are fabulous examples of very mobile students, and of course those students that are studying abroad and don't have the opportunity to be on our physical campus. So here's an example of a couple of different mobile devices that are out there. I think it's important to note that the big industries, especially the media industry, are looking at ways to deliver information in a mobile environment. Verizon has VCast. After you watch some of your favorite television shows, you might find that it says clips or interviews are available only through, and it's tied to a particular cellular phone service provider. I think that this is an excellent example of getting to our users where they're at. If companies are spending millions, possibly billions of dollars on advertising in these areas, it's a good time for us to jump into them as well. So the concept here is basically in your ear, in your hand, in your face, and this can apply in many different ways, from the technologies that we provide to the ways in which we advertise our services. One of my favorite things is podcasting. It's not necessarily a new technologies, but the way in which we can use them has been changing. So taking a look here, we see a bunch of different covers for podcasts that are available for museums, for different types of artsy venues, including unauthorized audio tours like the ones featured on Slate. I love these because you can basically walk around and be fed information for an area that you're in. These have a fabulous academic application if you are teaching a course that deals with a specific geographic region, or if you're looking at a particular time period like the 60s, you could put together a podcast that would include maybe interviews with people from that time, or maybe an audio walking tour of Los Angeles that would include prominent spots during the 1960s. One of the really big things right now is iTunes U. It is through iTunes, so it does only work with iPods. What it is a free hosting service for academic podcasts, anywhere from campus tours to classes to question and answer sessions. Now, I know a lot of people might be leery about putting their entire course into a podcast. This is a great place, though, for you to maybe do an end of the week wrap up where you look at all of the questions you've been asked or what the hot spots and hot topics were during your office hours, put them together in an 8 to 10 minute little talk, post it on to iTunes so that students can kind of catch up on that and you don't find yourself repeating yourself. Also, if you're doing a review maybe for the end of the quarter exam or for the midterm exam, you could go ahead and put, a podcast together on here with some helpful tips. You can also have your TAs do these as well. Of course, I wanted to show one example. This is an Introduction to Copyright Law course offered by MIT. It's great. It's 8 hours of this copyright lecture. Of course, being a librarian, I love copyright. This is just to give you an example of what they look like. So the next big thing after podcasting is, of course, YouTube and the idea of, is it academic? UC Berkeley recently, actually last week, started uploading video recordings of course lectures onto YouTube. So far they have about 300 hours of video, including chemistry, physics, their nonviolence course. They have more content to come, and there's a full list available at this URL. You might be thinking YouTube doesn't look very academic, but take a look at this. This would be the actual page for UC Berkeley's playlist in YouTube. Very nice, very glossy looking. Once you go ahead and select one of the courses, you get something like this. It gives you a list, the playlist, as well as a description of the course, when it was originally held, and an embeddable URL. So for those of you out there that know there's a really great guest lecturer online, you might want to go ahead and add that. Here is an example of a guest lecture that was really popular on a campus. A student actually put this video together. This is on computer science. If you know there's somebody you can only get for 1 quarter, but you'd love to have them every quarter, make a video, post it to YouTube, include it in your syllabus. Also, YouTube is a great place for marketing. This is a video that we put together at UC Merced on YouTube. Student written, student directed, student edited, fabulous. And it was about our text message librarian service. The next big question is social networking, and I'm just going to look at Facebook. Does it have an academic application? Do we belong here? How long is it going to be around? Those are all really important questions, and I think what is most important for you to do is to understand what Facebook is, a little bit about how it works. You can do that from their website. Facebook, you create a profile, you can put as much in it as you want, as little in it as you want. You do not even have to put a picture. You can create groups in Facebook. They can be great collaborative workplaces, and of course Facebook is mobile, so these are viewable on mobile devices. Here's my Facebook page. Gives you a little bit of information about me, things that I like to share. I feel that it adds a little bit of a personal touch to who I am, especially when students might only interact with me once during a quarter. It does give them a bit of insight. There are some applications that I like for Facebook. Facebook has lots of applications that you can search through that are free that you can add to your page. I have Dog Book on there. I love my dogs. I also am a big UCLA football fan, so I have a link to the game information. Now, I said it could be a great collaborative workspace. There is a downloadable file sharing tool, which is called Facebook Files. This particular one is done by Box. If I teach a class, I want to add a couple of notes afterwards, I might go ahead and put it in my Facebook profile. And then lastly is the JSTOR articles search box. This is really one of the only library-based applications that I like. I use JSTOR a lot. I tend to have Facebook open almost all the time. I can just go into my Facebook and search for articles from there. So how do you decide which of these technologies are for you? Everything is personal preference. Not every technology is right for each person. Find your comfort zone. Look for partners. Maybe you want to collaborate with a librarian or someone in a different department on a technology. Talk to your students. They are great resources. Once you use a technology, make sure you evaluate it. Let yourself know what you liked and disliked about it. And don't be afraid to scrap a technology after the quarter if it's not going to work for you. Don't let something become a time sink just because you're afraid to let go of it. So I'd like to end with being creative in your assignments and extra credit. These are just a couple of ideas. Allow students to do a presentation in YouTube, create or edit an assignment quality article in Wikipedia, or create a podcast discussion for your assignment. I did do this Wikipedia one with a class. It proved to be very successful. The professor really liked it. Here's an example from that. And what the students were required to do was create an account so that we could track what work they had actually done. It's a great way for them to understand and evaluate this resource as well. How do I keep up with everything? It's really hard. These are some of the blogs that I like to read. How do I find blogs? I use Google Blog Search, and then I simply embed the RSS feeds into my Gmail. It's very, very easy in Gmail. You simply go into your settings and add in web clips. As you can see right there, that's how I found out about UC Berkeley putting its courses on YouTube. That's all I have for you in the time allotted. Please feel free to email me with any questions. If you want to know anything else about this, Michelle Jacobs at library.ucla.edu. Thank you all.